Today we're going to make a clay pinch pot. You'll need a piece of clay and a burlap placemat. The mat is going to keep the clay from sticking to the table, so always keep your clay on the mat. The first thing we're going to do with the clay is something called wedging. And what wedging is, it's just squishing the clay around on the mat and in your hands. This gets the clay a little bit softer and warmer, easier to work with, and it takes all the air bubbles out of the clay, because you don't want air bubbles in your clay when you're working with it. Squish it around for about a minute. Now we're going to make a ball out of the clay. So curve your hands into kind of a round shape and squish the clay in your hands to make a ball. You can also roll it on the mat if you want to. It doesn't have to be a perfect ball, just a pretty nice ball. That one's pretty good. Now next is the fun part. You get to take your thumb and press it right into your ball of clay, so it's stuck in there good. Here comes the pinch pot part. So you're going to take the rest of your fingers, and with your thumb in the clay, you're going to pinch the clay between your fingers and your thumb, while your other hand, your helper hand, turns the clay around in a circle. So notice how I'm pinching between my thumb and my fingers, while my other hand turns the clay around. Notice how the hole in the clay is getting bigger and it's starting to look like a pot. That's why it's called a pinch pot, because we've literally pinched to make the pot. So keep pinching until you like how wide your pinch pot is, and make sure the walls of your pinch pot, the edges, are kind of thick. If you get them too thin, so here's an example of what they'd look like if they're too thin. If they are too thin, they might crack. So what you want to do is fold them back in a little bit to make them a little bit thicker. It's pretty easy to do. So pinch your pinch pot until you've got it in a good shape. If the bottom's round, you might want to tap it a little bit on your mat to make it flat so it can stand. Gently tap it, of course. You can smooth out some cracks with your fingers. Clay's gonna crack, but you can smooth it out pretty good. You can also tap the top so that the edges get a little more thick and square. Now here's the fun part. You can put some designs on your clay using these clay tools. The fork is going to make an interesting pattern. You can do lines or dots. Toothpicks are really nice for little drawings or details. So you can make pictures in your clay pot. Or you could make letters or words on your pot if you want to. I did an A for my first name, Amanda. And you can dot the toothpick as well. These marker caps make really good circles. So you just gently press them into the clay, turn them a little bit so they make an imprint. And then these plastic tools you can use by either scraping them to smooth things out, or you can press them into the clay to make some lines. Don't forget to decorate the inside of your pot as well. I really like the dot design, so I'm doing some big circles and some little dots. And you can also decorate the edge of your pot too. You could do the bottom as well. Once you think your pot looks good, you will put it on top of the tray where it has your name on it. There'll be a piece of tape with your name, and you place your pot right on top.